Hello, everybody. My name is Master Chen.
My name is BGM.
This is Doxy.
And I'm Zenify.
And you are listening to Grey Noise. All right, everybody. Welcome to Grey Noise, the Information Security Podcast. This is episode 109. We are here live, like every Friday night at 7:30 at the Sin Shop. Actually, it's 7:40 because
7:30-ish.
I don't know how we do it. But we end up later every fucking time. So that's okay though, because we're gonna figure this shit out, and that's kind of what we're gonna be talking about initially for the first topic, which I'll get into in just a second. We are here live at the Sin Shop. The address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. We are still the Las Vegas Valley Hackerspace, even though we are in Henderson. We are the best hackerspace. Go to sinshop.org for more information on the shop. We also have a meetup page to help you know what's going on in our future appointments, such as lockpick nights, 3D printing, soldering 101, basic electronics. We have all these classes here. We have crypto parties once a quarter. But I would know that if I check the meetup page, which is something you should be doing too. So go to meetup.com/sinshop and you'll find us there as well. And for more information on the podcast, go to GREYNOISE, GREYNOI.se. Let's see, we did not have a Fozzie Hour today because it is the first of the month. So today was the 2600 meeting. And it was really awesome. I think we had a really good discussion about the about open source, really. And are you an asshole if you submit bug reports or issues? Does the developer have a right to be mad at you for shitting on their code?
As a dev who
fixing their shit, yeah.
As a dev who had lots of bug reports submitted to him because I'm a terrible dev, while you know, whenever a bug report came in, I was like, I was still happy that somebody caught a mistake that I could fix. So I'm on the side of bug reports are a good thing.
Oh, move the phone. Again, like you can see, we started a little bit late because of technical difficulties, and we're trying to figure it out as we go. But BGM, what you were saying is, the thing is, I think what Fozzie was arguing earlier is that you are rare, and that most devs, even though they release their code open source, get mad at you if you shit on their code, or tell them that they're a horrible dev.
Well, I feel like if you frame it that way, you suck as a dev. Like if you frame it like you come in and say you suck.
If you're going to open with you're a shitty developer.
No, I'm just putting words in his mouth.
I feel like anybody who's upset.
No.
Anybody who's said at that
point. I'm putting words in his mouth. We'll open up the community mic in just 1 second. You can stay there.
Oh, Fozzie.
We have a community chair now.
Yeah, we have a community chair. So
I feel like if you talk to anybody that, like if you come like
I'm not saying that you open up the comments with you're a shitty dev.
Hey, you shuck.
No.
Also.
No. What I'm saying is, you have an open source project, okay? You release it on GitHub. The code is available out there to everybody and anybody who wants to look. And then you have somebody such as Fozzie or whoever else who open up issues, and that's standard procedure for Git repositories. You open up an issue saying, hey, I found this bug, or I found this issue or vulnerability with your code, and here's a proposed solution, right? Does that give the original dev the right to say, man, that guy's an asshole for auditing my code? Because apparently that seems to be the issue that he was kind of running into.
I think they could say that either way, but as to whether they're right, I mean, anybody who does like criticism is probably not very, I would argue is not very good at their job. Anybody who doesn't like criticism.
Well, as I said before, I'm a pretty terrible developer, but it's bug reports that make me a better developer. You know what I mean? And if I'm willing to be open to the fact that my code could be better, then that's what's going to ultimately make me better.
And that's how, even as I'm not a developer, but that's how I know you're at least decent at your job, because you're open to criticism. If somebody could come and say, hey, you can do this better this way, you'd be like, hey, good idea, I'll implement that. Instead of saying, fuck you, get out of my office, you know?
I can see that. Now,
I think we talked about this a while ago. It's the holier than thou mentality that's
I think
ever present in
we've
our
actually
fields.
well, we've been covering it a little bit in most recent weeks. We're talking about the elitist attitude, but talking about conferences.
For the eagle-eyed viewers out there, they might have noticed that I was gone, or they might not. You know what? That's fine. I'm a small part of this.
Actually, Vic was really good at your sound bites.
Oh, really?
A couple of weeks ago.
You were using the soundboard again?
No. The first time I'm saying it, it was as if you weren't gone. In fact, you even pissed off Fox, like normal.
As per usual, BGM.
As per usual.
Classic BGM.
Now, Fozzie, if there's any clarification that we need on this discussion, what's up?
Oh, I just wanted to be clear. Nobody is pushed back at all. We haven't done it yet.
Oh.
We're actually I just wanted to figure out how I could do it in the best way possible to maximize the likelihood that people would say, hey, it would have a positive experience, right?
So you are talking about framing
right, framing it for the future, for the future, because we, you know, like you said, you know, obviously you don't want to say, hey, you're a dumbass, but it's on the other hand, you know, what can we do to make sure that people feel like, hey, you're writing in open source, we care about what you're doing, and I've benefited from open source a lot. This is how I'm contributing back to the community, right? So like, what conversation makes that the most effective, sort of a thing?
I feel like the conversation that makes that most effective is the same way you approach any sort of constructive criticism, right? Like you come from a place of, I appreciate what you're doing, I appreciate what you've done or whatever, but I have these suggestions for you, right? Like you don't have to do this. I'm not telling you, fuck the code you already have. Like this is better, but I have these suggestions for you. I would think so.
You can, well, the cool thing about programming is it's equal parts creativity and logic. So you can, you know, praise them on their creativity while saying your logic, though, could use a little bit of work.
Is it like a compliment?
This is a good idea. This is a good idea for a program, but there's probably a better way to do it.
It's like a compliment sandwich. Man, I really like your concept. You fucked it up, but this is how you make it better. So now it's this shit sandwich.
Yeah, but it's shit on top of, you know, a nice fluffy cloud as soft as a baby's whisper.
I think people are starting to see through that, though.
I don't think that's the right way, because I wouldn't want to eat a shit sandwich. I don't think that's the right analogy.
No, it's an open face.
It's sandwich. A compliment, criticism, compliment sandwich.
It's an open face.
That's
what
better.
if the sandwich has sushi in it?
If you said I'm serving you a shit sandwich, appreciate this, I'd be like, fuck yourself.
No, I'm saying
it's an open-faced
the analogy.
Sandwich.
There
you
we
can
go.
Scrub the shit off. Easy. It's easy
Yeah, that's what the analogy is.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Anyway, so that was what the discussion of the 2600 meeting was about today. Remember?
Oh, we
have another
comment.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
When you have a company that tells its employees to do something, even though they know it's not the right thing to do, they tend to do it anyway. But when somebody else, like myself, comes in and looks at another person's work, and I say, well, these mistakes were made, that company gets mad because it costs them money, it costs them future clients, and it makes them look bad, and they don't like it. There's no easy way to eat a shit sandwich. It is what it is. And that's exactly what it is.
As far as that part, like as far as losing business or whatever, I think if a company is open about mistakes they make, if they're not fucking up all the time, but if they're open about mistakes they make, like, hey, we implemented this, but it didn't work the way we expected it, so we're fixing it in this way, I would appreciate that much more than you just continuing to roll out shit.
But that doesn't work in the business world.
Yeah,
business world cares only about success.
No,
that's why they hide failure.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I don't think that's exactly the same.
Right. I think
I think that would win you loyalty.
Well, while there are similarities with the business world, we are talking about open source. Open source, by definition, is open to the public. It's
right.
not private, proprietary.
Open source doesn't necessarily mean free, but
no, it doesn't.
In most cases, it does mean free. Money's not involved, but when money gets involved, a lot of people don't have a lot of patience for the oopsie-doopsie mentality. They have they have to get it right the first time, which is why you have multiple environments or focus test groups.
No, absolutely. But I would definitely argue that it would win you loyalty, whether open source or business focused. I don't have any hard numbers on that, but I know myself as a consumer, even if like whether it was an open source product or something that was that I paid for, if they were transparent about mistakes they make, if they weren't major, like if you're just continually fucking up, that's different than like if you make a mistake, somebody tells you to do something better and you fix it, that would win my loyalty, because then I appreciate that, as opposed to you trying to hide stuff from me and then it comes out in a news report years later or whatever, then
so
fuck
like
you.
A 2-strike policy would be something you agree with.
Yeah, something like that.
A 3-strike policy.
But if I find out in a news report 2 or 3 years later that my data was compromised or that you've had shitty security policies from the beginning that you never changed because whatever reason, that's an instant we're done. That's an instant you lose my business. I'd much rather you admit to your mistake and fix it than just ignore it.
Fozzie, rebuttal?
Well, actually, I would just say that it might be relevant that I'm not just talking about creating an issue report, but also an issue report followed up by a pull request, right? So it's not just, hey, you've got hey, there's something that needs to be fixed. It's, hey, there's something that needs to be fixed. Here's an actual proposal. Here's an actual code change. So once you've confirmed it, feel free to just take it, right?
Even in the end, the original maintainer of the code has the power to either reject or accept your pull request, right?
Always.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the equivalent of like, let's say a newbie asking a question and say, hey, I don't really understand this, but I found this, that, and the other. Is that correct, or like I'm on the correct path or whatever? I think it's the same thing as like, as long as you offer suggestions or a way to fix it, it's better than just saying, you suck, make this better. If you're like, hey, this isn't very well implemented, maybe try this.
I was being very, what's the right word? I was being very liberal with the way I was saying, like, that he's shitting on their code. He's not actually shitting on their code.
No, and as long as you offer a suggestion for improvement, I think that's totally fine.
All right.
I think so.
Community Mike?
It doesn't matter how much sugar you put on the bread; it's still a shit sandwich.
What is the
But
obsession with shit sandwiches?
if it's open face, it's easier to scrub the shit off.
Oh, well, we'll leave this to debate, I guess, unless, Zenify, do you have any opening statements on this?
No, I was trying to think of stuff, but I'm not really a developer.
Did you say opening because I said open face? Did I seed that word in your mind?
Or whatever. We would love your suggestions. Remember, we are on Twitter at GREYNOISE Media, and we are on IRC. And speaking of which, we'll talk about this in just a second. We are working on a transition towards Slack. And we'll get into that actually maybe
There's a very important poll on Slack right now regarding tacos and pizza.
I mean, I guess we might as well. Well, you can say it.
Well, before we get into the Slack thing, there's actually a bigger thing when it comes to the show, okay? Somewhere along the lines, we kind of turned a little bit into a news coverage show, okay? And originally, that was not our intentions. Our intentions were to make a show that explained high-level, maybe complex technical concepts, and not just about hacking, but about programming, cryptography, like everything regarding tech, okay? We have these complex issues that a lot of people don't understand. Maybe they don't have the time to do the research, or maybe they just don't know how to care because they don't know the basic verbiage, they don't know the basics of the technology that we're covering. So what this show really is about is explaining technology to the layman. Not in a bad way. Just because you're a layman doesn't mean we're calling you stupid. It's just we'd like to explain technology in a basic manner. And so instead of being a news show, I mean, really, if you think about it, that's what the lightning round is, right? We cover, oh my God, that Bluetooth is going to drive me fucking crazy. Turn that shit off.
I don't know how, I don't want to press a button to make it explode.
Yeah, if you press the button, it might sync to my computer. Anyway, so the point of the show is, yeah, we have headlines at the end. We do cover a little bit of news at the end. But here, as you can see, we were just talking about open source. We were talking about this conversation, and it's more topical, and that's what we'd like to refocus on: is being a topical, basic technology from the hacker perspective is kind of like how I summarize it. Do you guys have any comments on that?
I agree.
These are concerns that I voiced to you last week.
Right, and I'd like to address it publicly, though.
I do have a topic that goes along the vein of where I want the show to go.
Before we get there,
we can get to that later.
Okay,
if we have time.
really quick. So to summarize it, the open source discussion came from our 2600 meeting. It is the 1st of September. It is the 1st of the month. And it is the first Friday of the month. So instead of a Fozzie hour, we have the 2600 meeting. For those of you who don't know what 2600 is, it is a magazine called the Hacker Quarterly, or 2600, the Hacker
can't you
Quarterly.
say that?
It's because the beer, man. It's like it's making me
Oh,
all.
sure, blame the beer.
I can't open my mouth. So it's a monthly meeting that we get to hang out and just kind of, it's an open forum. It's not really organized in any particular manner. It's completely open to the public. So come on down. Like I said, first Friday of every month. But it doesn't matter because we're here every Friday of the month. And speaking of 2600, watch out for the autumn edition in October because I will be in that edition.
Yay.
Humble brag, not so humble. Just kidding. Anyway, BGM, you were saying about your topic? Or?
Let's do Doxy's topic first.
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna. There was a nice segue in the middle of what you were talking about before, but then you passed it and I forgot what it was.
And then there was a nice segue to mine,
And
and
then
I derailed it.
And then
I'm
So,
bringing it back to you.
That's cool. And this topic would work much better if Magic Dave was here, but he's not here, unfortunately. However, so I talk about phones a lot, but the coolest thing I've seen the last week is a phone called the Librem 5, which is made by the Purism Company, or it's being made by the Purism Company, rather. And this, which I've been framing it all week, is this is Magic Dave's wet dream phone.
the wet dream phone. That's
that's
how
like,
I'd market it. That's
yeah,
exactly how I'd
that's
market
exactly.
it.
If the people who bought this phone knew who Magic Dave was, and I told them it was Magic Dave's wet dream, they'd buy it immediately. It's a mobile phone, Linux-based, not Android, not anything else. It's a Linux-based phone. You can run almost any Linux distro on it. It has hardware kill switches. The CPU is separated from the mobile radio. It's maybe not the most secure phone. I don't know actual statistics. Right now it's in the crowdfunding phase, so it's not even an actual phone yet. But they're crowdfunding for it, and it's supposed to be the most secure phone, an open source built secure phone for the security minded.
I feel like we've talked about this before. Like
We
2
talked
years
about it
ago.
in concept, but not in like Kickstarter,
Yeah.
in motion, where they're making this.
But wasn't-
Because I know many moons ago, Magic Dave came on. He was asking about like phone recommendations as far as security and open source and what he could do with it and whatnot. And he talked about what he would love to see in a phone, specifically hardware kill switches and the mobile radio being separate from the actual CPU or baseband, or I forget the terminology. And this phone has all of it. And it seems like Magic Dave told these people what he wanted, and they made that phone.
Well, wasn't there a phone coming out that was like this?
This phone has
Turing
just
phone?
been announced. Like in the
Turing phone was a
the
flop.
Turing phone.
Yeah,
phone
it's
is
a
vaporware.
flop.
The Turing phone is
Vaporware.
no, because the Turing phone wasn't.
It's vaporware.
Yeah, it was.
It was still in
This
beta,
was
still
still in funding.
crowdfunded.
This one's still in funding.
This one is still in funding. It was just announced a week ago, maybe.
Actually, Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 27th, whenever that was.
So, I know one of the things that Magic Dave really wanted was to be able to turn off the baseband.
And you
Yes,
can,
and you can do that with
Yes.
this.
Okay.
Sorry. Here's the things. So hardware kill switches for camera, microphone, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and baseband. HTML5 based apps. End-to-end decentralized communications via Matrix, which I'm not completely sure what that is, but it's the Matrix system is all the messaging applications on the phone. So as far as messaging, sharing, anything like that. So it's a security-based phone for people who like nice mobile phones, but they want to be extremely secure. This is the phone for them. On Kickstarter right now, it's $600 for the phone to pledge to get the phone or whatever.
Wow, $100 and you get a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm looking at the backer rewards.
the Packer rewards. Well, okay, so let me say something here. I love the idea of this phone. I really do. However, I am kind of skeptical as far as its success in the marketplace. So I'm looking at this from like a business perspective, right?
And
you're probably
that was
agreeing with me, right?
my next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Go ahead.
So, okay, you had Windows Mobile, you had Apple, iOS, and then you had Android, right? Well, fuck, you don't see Windows Mobile anymore, really. And so you have these two competing OSs, which is iOS and Android. And I don't know, now this is a Linux-based phone, but it says it is not with Android, right? Like
It's not. So it doesn't have any Play Store apps. It doesn't have any Google-based stuff
Right.
in it. It's just a pure Linux distro on mobilized, but it's a pure Linux distro on your phone.
Right.
Excuse me.
So the thing is, we've seen this before when it comes to like an open source Linux phone. We saw it with, there's the Motorola Ming, which was a phone, like it was a PDA phone back in the day of like the Palm Trio and when you were still using styluses on a normal basis. And there was also the OpenMoko project that BGM made me aware of, almost a decade or so ago?
Yeah.
Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
Actually, definitely longer, because it's 2017, Jesus Christ. So there was the OpenMoko phone, which kind of fizzled out, but that was supposed to be an open source Linux phone. And there are even phones that are supposed to be running Ubuntu, I think.
There were, but those got.
And those-
There were.
Canonical pulled that about 6 months ago.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they never really panned out.
But think about why it's been pulled. It's because people are now used to having Android and iOS and things of this nature. I like the idea. I really like the idea of having a separate baseband, a kill switch, like all these cryptographic, privacy conscious features. I just don't know how it's going to handle in the market.
So I will say there are definitely at least, probably more, but at least two camps of people. People who, like you say, are very comfortable in their Apple playground, Android playground. As far as they go to, they see an app, they download it, they're done. That's it for them. And there are people who like, and Magic Dave is the whole crux for this topic, but who don't really care about the apps. Like they're not playing games or whatever on their phone. They just use it for a communication device.
I mean, if
And-
anything,
I don't use my phone to play games.
Well, but also
if anything, this could be a great, not burner phone, but like a phone that you might want to use at a security conference or maybe things of that nature, where you don't really need apps and et cetera, et cetera.
And I mean, for people who aren't tied into the Google ecosystem, like you don't need Gmail, you don't need whatever else Google offers. You can still download apps from F-Droid or any other off-market off Play Store apps.
So those would be like APKs?
You can get the APKs without going through the Play Store.
And you can still run that on that phone? Like,
because it's Linux-based, I want to say yes. I'm not 100% sure. And the phone isn't even real yet, so who knows?
That's true. That's true. I'm getting way ahead of myself here.
But from what I understand, you would be able to run them if you download them off the Play Store from like F-Droid or one of those other marketplaces. But, sorry, Community Mike?
The thing I need most in a phone is its ability to receive a call in a remote area.
Like,
right.
When
like-
I'm running
like-
a pipeline, I'm 100 miles from nowhere. If one of our guys get injured, it's a 2-hour, flight to
Yeah.
have the helicopter come there, pick him up, and take him back. So I need that phone to operate where there's no tower
how do you-
available.
I agree with you.
How do you deal with that now?
We
As far as
use,
phones?
we use a satellite phone.
What's that phone?
I don't know, but I don't think this has satellite phone capabilities.
Isn't that funny though? How like this phone could do like everything, but a lot of people don't want to make calls on it because they're kind of sketchy about not sketchy, but they're kind of like wary about the technology or the voice quality.
I refuse to let people call me.
They're like, what? Can you say that again? Like it's just funny how it's not. It's a phone, but people don't use it as a phone.
Because I mean, it's not a. I mean, it is a phone, but it's more like a mobile communications device. So it's like
Of all
you're
kinds,
of
I
everything. You're texting, you're same thing, messaging, picture sharing,
Video calling,
all that. It's everything. It's so much more than just a phone.
However, all the drawings and technical information we have is all on paper because we can't get the capability of a modern smartphone to download that information to a smart pad. So we're stuck with just a satellite phone.
And I feel like I feel like that won't be solved by a more secure phone. That's a problem for
That's a different problem.
coverage.
That's
as far as
more
radio
of a problem
coverage.
with the radio coverage or.
And yet my old Verizon flip phone with the green screen can pick up reception in that same spot without a problem.
Do those still work?
No, they don't. They'll pick up, but you can't make any phone calls on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that the airwaves are still available, but there's no technology there
Yeah,
anymore.
the difference in analog versus digital.
Well, we still have pager networks, don't we? Like POXAG and things of that nature. If there's a tower up and running.
Oh yeah,
Not that it would-
pager would work.
Yeah.
What I would like to see most in a phone is something where you can pick the hardware that goes in it or change the hardware as you need to.
Well, they tried modular phones too.
And that was a thing maybe a year and a half ago. The whole thing was modular phones. Everybody's got a modular phone.
Yeah,
And
Google's Mosaic project.
then Project Aria.
Yeah.
Yeah, they canceled that. The only one who's a lot of companies are doing modular now, but not modular in the way of, you swap out your camera for another battery or whatever. They're doing modular in the way like you have your base phone and then you add on cameras or gimmicky type things.
Like they're add-ons. They're not.
Not useful modular, just gimmicky modular.
And that's what I need most is useful modular. If I can get rid of a camera for better reception in a remote area, I do it in a heartbeat.
I mean absolutely.
I don't care about cameras or megapixels or any of that. It
Well,
serves no purpose.
There's
for
still
me.
people who are using flip phones. You know what I mean? Like there are people who like refuse to have smartphones. I know a lot of them who are on the East Coast. I don't know too many here on the West Coast, but yeah. So it is definitely a preference or need of use, right? But when it comes to this particular phone that Magic Dave has thought up or brought up, and what Doxy brings to the table now today, if it is what it is, again, my skepticism comes from its market success. I just don't think it's going to get there.
And concerning market success, the phone is on Kickstarter. It's $599, $600 to at least back it. I assume it's going to be that price when it comes out, but it might be more expensive.
It'll probably be more.
I'm thinking it'll be more expensive, and then at that price point, anything more than $600 for an untested, unproven phone and phone company, it's very hard sell. We see this issue already right now with the Essential phone that has Andy Rubin backing it, the co-creator of Android, and that's already a shit show. That nobody wants the essential phone. Not because it's bad. I mean, it is a bad phone, but even beyond that, nobody wants it. Nobody wants and for that it costs $700 base for the essential phone, and for that kind of money, nobody's gonna be like, I'll try it out, I'll test it, I'll see if it's okay. That's not a buy it and see kind of price. That's I want a good, reliable phone, regardless of whatever, regardless of who sells it or what the name is or whatever. I want a good phone that's gonna work, not something like I heard this phone that might be good from these people, whatever. They want good hardware and software.
All right. Well, I have one question and two concerns. That maybe you guys can talk about. I'm just looking at the Kickstarter here.
What? Oh shit!
You drink my beer. It's a good thing I love you, Doxy. All right, go ahead. You just drink my beer.
I don't have herpes.
That's a party foul. So, the one question I have is, where are the other Librams? This is the Libram 5.
So.
Oh no, they're numbering things like Microsoft.
Is there a pedigree here?
So what I'm pretty sure is happening is most phone companies base their phone name off the size of the phone. So it's a 5-inch phone, so the Librem 5. There are laptops because before.
Oh, that makes sense because the Android O is O sized.
Well then, how did we get the LG V20?
The Nexus 5 is 5
very
inches.
20.
The Nexus 5 is 5 inches. The Nexus 6P is 6 inches. That's like that. Like before, Librem has made a number of laptop devices.
Well, what's the Pixel 2? Is that 2 inches?
Pixel XL2. So it's extra large 2 inches, which translates to 6 inches.
Wow, dude, you should work for Microsoft.
I'm a spin doctor.
You should work for Microsoft. This is going to be Xbox 2.5.
That was just the question I had. That wasn't the concern. I was just like, was there a pedigree? Because it's called Librem.
It's a 5-inch phone. Like their laptop, their laptops are the Librem 11, 12, and 13 because of the screen size. I'm pretty sure. Maybe 11, 13, and 15.
Okay.
Not even sure. But yes, because of the screen size.
On to the concern. One of the things that they actually highlight is user-controlled source code. If there isn't a big market for this phone, how good is this going to be?
Trash.
If the source code is user-controlled.
It's going to be trash.
That to me says that, okay, they're going to build the phone, they're going to release it, version 1's going to come out, then they're going to wipe their hands from it and expect the community to patch it and keep it up to date.
And I mean, if people are still enthusiastic about, like again, Magic Dave, people like Magic Dave, it could have a very good user base that are willing to contribute and get things out there, but I honestly don't see that happening. I see them, if they don't support it after its release, they release it, people are like, oh, this is kind of cool, it's a decent phone, you know, it's super secure, and then they forget about it, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, they highlight it, and it would be a good thing if there were millions of people involved in this phone, millions of customers.
Even a couple 100,000.
But there isn't really that huge of an interest. I mean, if you look at the goals here, and you look at how many people actually paid the $600 already, there's only 250 people. So, I mean, that actually is a concern to me, that they're going to wipe their hands of the OS and just let the users take care of it. But if there aren't enough users,
yeah, and I don't want to like kill it before it even releases, but I can't.
That's what we're here for.
I can't imagine it's going to have a huge user base. Because I mean, even, like I peruse a lot of Android blogs and subreddits and whatnot, and I've heard nothing about this phone other than on the Purism site.
Well, I think this is going to be a niche phone.
Absolutely.
Or niche, whatever.
And that's why the user-controlled source code kind of scares me away from the phone a little bit. Because if it's a niche, then who's going to keep it up to date? I mean,
people like Magic Dave.
But after a year, after 2 years, when other phones come out, are they still going to have interest in this phone, keeping it up to date?
I mean,
it won't have the vulnerabilities such as stage fright and stuff like that Android has, but it might have its own vulnerabilities.
But I
mean,
mean,
going to patch those.
And I don't think that, like, for the casual consumer, ask any casual consumer what stage fright is. They probably don't remember or don't know.
Oh, and it's still around.
Because they don't.
It can't be patched out.
They don't care, which is why I'm saying this is a phone for people like Magic Dave, and I mean very security conscious people. But for the average consumer,
I would expect like a Tor developer would probably be using this phone. Or
maybe
journalists.
Magic Dave would definitely be
right.
using this.
Or journalists who use Tor on a regular basis, they would probably be using this phone.
This goes beyond Tor, because if you just want to use Tor, you can use Orbot or something
No,
like that.
I know. I'm saying though, like I'm talking about getting into the minds of the people who would use this phone.
No, I think and that's what I'm saying. I think it goes beyond people who just use Tor or whatever. This is people who won't use a regular phone, like who still use flip phones because they refuse to be ingrained in the Google or Apple ecosystem or whatever. Like they don't want to use app stores. They don't want to sign up for stuff.
But there are security conscious people or like privacy conscious people who don't use the smartphones because they know how much of a personal information drain it is.
That's what I just said.
No. Okay, maybe we are agreeing. I don't know.
So my third concern
I thought you said
is
2 concerns. 1 question and 2 concerns.
I'm sorry. My second concern, the third thing I'm about to say, is one of the stretch goals for $10 million says if they reach 10 million, they'll develop something to run Android applications in isolation on Librem 5. So I know firsthand that 90% of Android apps don't work in sandboxes.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're also highlighting that.
Because it's literally never going to happen. because it's like, oh, that's really nice that they might have the potential.
I don't see how. Yeah, I don't see how it's going to happen when it's going to be requesting the type of information that the phone itself would like to encapsulate.
Essentially, the only apps that will run are ones that don't require permissions.
Yeah,
So
pretty
none
much.
of-
And every app requires permissions now. Everything that runs on your phone requires some level of permissions. I can't think of any app that doesn't ask for permissions. But what do I know?
So I don't know. I mean, I really love the idea behind this phone, but those 2 concerns are huge red flags to me. That I wouldn't back it. I might be one of those people who wait to see what happens when it comes out.
I'm absolutely going to wait. I don't trust any crowdfunding campaign anymore.
They have no backers at the $10,000 level, the $18,000 level, and the
What's the
$20,000
highest backer level?
$10,000.
Or, I mean that they have.
that they have people
People
back.
for, yeah.
$16.99, and that's a phone with a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse. I don't know why you would want a 30-inch monitor,
No.
keyboard, and a mouse with your phone.
No,
Those
it's a
won't
full
fit in my
Linux.
pocket.
Oh shit!
yeah.
It comes with the 24-inch monitor.
No,
Because-
30-inch. It says 30.
At 16?
$16.99. 24 inches, $13.99.
Oh yeah, and because it'll run a full Linux distro.
So-
if you plug it into a
so
Mac.
they have-
It's one of those
they have
computers
6
that you just
backers
take
for
with
that.
you.
Yeah. It's what the Ubuntu phone wanted to
What
be.
do they mean compatible? Why not any regular monitor? Why does it have to be? Oh, we have community mic.
Maybe it uses some
Maybe we have
proprietary
answers
connector.
to these
So
questions.
you finally have a phone for geriatric people, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And what make my squawk box go to the interweb?
We have another community mic here.
Wouldn't it be easier and simpler just to create a custom Android ROM that's based on privacy and security?
Well, okay.
So
This one isn't software-based security; it's hardware-based security.
You have physical kill switches, physical separation from the baseband, things of this nature.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is that even if you have like software like you deny access or whatever, it can still be overwritten or whatever. So the hardware kill switches ensures that unless they have physical access, they can't compromise your device, rather, right?
Otherwise, that would be a great idea. Any Android-based ROM, though, is also going to be vulnerable to stage fright.
Because there are already super secure Android OSs. The black phone. The black phone. I'm losing all the names
There are
right
others
now.
too.
But there are other ROMs that purport to be the most secure. But if anybody gets physical access to your device or whatever, it's not secure anymore. So this would ensure that it is to a certain degree.
I think it's easier just to not go without a phone.
To go without a phone?
Yeah.
Which I assume some people are doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like that one meme. You can't get hacked if you don't have a phone to hack.
I got a screenshot here of what $1,700 will get you if you back this project.
Is that
Holy shit, you're serious? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you thought we were joking?
no, you get the monitor with the. I don't get it.
And I'm thinking that you can't just buy a monitor. Maybe it's a proprietary connection, which is even shittier because proprietary connections are the devil.
I think it looks like it's using the USB-C connection.
Yeah. I think it's using USB Type C. But if it's not, fuck that. Proprietary connections are the worst connections.
Well, let's. I guess cheers and here's to hoping because.
I would love something like this to actually work, but I think number one, for it to work, it needs to have a large user base if they're going to say, okay, the source code is controlled entirely by the users.
And I'm also very confused about, if you look at the mock-ups for the phone, It looks
wide.
It looks very wide.
It looks wide.
There's also no buttons on
I
the
don't think it's
screen, like no physical, like there's
aesthetically
no button. Like I mean, I guess there are buttons on the side.
Yeah, there's
anyway,
buttons.
It looks more like a tablet than a phone.
it does, but it's only 5 inches, so it's very small but very wide.
Also, is that Google Maps in that screenshot?
It definitely looks like no. It looks more like Apple Maps.
Oh, okay.
You know another screenshot that I
Which is
saw
even
in here?
worse.
They're actually talking to Dave because it says hello Dave. They're actually texting a person named
No,
Dave.
if it said hello magic Dave,
Dave is magic.
then we'd freak the fuck out.
Sorry.
Oh my god, he's making the phone!
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to advertise to a company so that they can shorten up on their gear, give everybody this particular item. They take their phone home with them. They bring it to work. They plug it in. Basically, you're tethered to your company for all time and eternity, which kind of sucks.
Like a company that's looking for like a super secure solution buys a bunch of these.
Well, that would explain why they have 3 tiers for enterprise level.
Possibly, but I can't imagine any company buying an untested product unless they've already invested in their laptop solutions.
Well, no, I think what Community, you're right, but I think what Community Mike is saying is like, the company buys your phone for you, it's a company phone, which now acts maybe as your office computer because of what you can do with the monitor.
Yeah.
You know, so it now becomes your one-stop solution for everything business related, and then it's a long leash for you.
And
how many businesses run entirely, exclusively in Linux?
Fuck, I don't know.
Zero.
Yeah, zero.
And on top of that, like I keep saying, what company that could afford to do that is going to run all their employees off an untested phone, untested software and whatnot?
Untested hardware platform, untested software platform. No
Just-
one really knows what's going to run on this or what's not. And just
Yeah.
like BGM said, major parts of applications that run on Debian now won't run in Sandbox.
Absolutely. So I can't imagine any company that's going to be like, every computer we have, chuck it. Buy 20 of these phones, that's it. No, never. Absolutely not.
I think this phone's going to drive a lot of security aspects towards the more broader built phones.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing can show that it can be done, but I don't think they're going to be economically successful.
But now can it be
I don't think
done
so.
with
So
Android still?
It'll be a good at bat, but not a home run.
I think it could be, but whether Android, and not Android, but whether manufacturers want to, I would say no, because it's not financially or fiscally beneficial for them. Because besides the niche people want hardware kill switches, don't want the Play Store. Besides niche consumers, don't want the Play
people
Store.
raising their hand? I didn't see.
Fozzie in the back.
Oh, he's like, I want it.
He's a niche all in his own.
Absolutely,
He
because think about it. You get a phone. I gotta check my email. Can you show me how to set up my email? You go into Gmail. You input your company stuff. Done. Otherwise, it's like, oh, you have to download Fire or Thunderbird, whatever it is.
Boy, words
all
are
this
tough,
stuff.
aren't they?
Words are so hard.
I know.
Words are
I know.
hard.
Having hardware kill switches just on the Wi-Fi adapter on a laptop is a service call.
Absolutely. My Wi-Fi is not working. Did you try to turn it off and on? I don't know where the button is, or they don't even know there's a button.
Right.
They hit it accidentally.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
hardware kill
you guys-
switches on laptops are service calls.
It's
and
the
that's how
weekend.
Absolutely.
Please don't put in a ticket until Tuesday.
I can't get on the internet. You just gotta flip
Shut
the
up,
switch.
shut up.
So
The internet's
wait,
broken.
Wait. Are they
the
kill
switch.
switches or are they kill toggles? I mean, can we bring it back
Does-
to
does
life
it-
using the same
It's
switch?
like Mercy. It's like a res. You kill it, then you res it.
Yeah.
Too much Overwatch.
So yeah, you know, I've had those calls like my Wi-Fi isn't working. It's because there's a little switch on the laptop they didn't know they bumped, or what somebody turned it for them.
Yeah, every time I try to turn Chen's laptop to me, he has the power switch right here. Right
Now
where
would
you
be a
would
really
grab
bad
the
time to
laptop.
press that button.
Right where you would grab the laptop.
You know what's funny? When I had the Lenovo, the power button was on this side, and you would grab this side of the laptop
Well, 'cause
and turn that computer off.
That's because I like to sit to the left of Lenovo's.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry,
You guys got to knock it off.
So
The battery will be modular.
Nobody's going to want to buy this system, but if they have the system operating and patented, then nobody else can make it until their patent runs out or they pay them.
I don't think they can patent Linux OSs. So I can't imagine.
Well,
They might be able to patent the design, which
the
would
hardware,
include
the
kill switches.
design, or even copyright the software that makes it work.
But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what patent laws even
I-
are.
I- yeah, I
just
don't
heard the
know.
word patent today for the first time.
I could see them.
Okay, so patents are usually for inventions. Copyrights are for written works or IP or intellectual property, such as software would be a copyright. Movies would be a copyright, like Disney movies. They're under copyright law.
Yeah.
Patent laws are inventions and more physical you know.
So
Yeah, but if they're first, then they hold that piece of paper for a designated amount of time. That means nobody else can do it unless they get paid.
but see, I don't
Even
see.
if nobody buys their product,
Well,
they
it
can
depends
still
on.
make money.
Okay, now we're getting into a different subject, but it really depends on what the patent's for, though. Like you have iPhone arguing with Samsung that they came up with the round edges first. Like for fuck's sake, like really, you had to put that in a patent? But that's a thing. That's a patent argument. So again, we can go down that rabbit hole and we could spend hours on that shit. But fuck that, because I don't want to do that personally. I don't know about you guys. We have another topic, but
Wait, I want to do this, and then I want to say something from David D. Grayson.
all right, go ahead.
I think a more proprietary solution would be a better success and more practical
Okay,
than open source.
I want
Or
to say
this solution.
I don't think so. Proprietary is the worst way to go. Well, I'm no hardware designer. I don't build anything. But I think especially in this day and age, proprietary is the wrong way to go, because if you're not compatible with the masses, you fail. Unless you have something that's like I absolutely need, and no one needs a hardware kill switch. No one needs the baseband to be separate from the CPU. Nobody needs or cares about that. If it was something like proprietary mail app that everyone is using now, okay. But what this phone is bringing to the table, I don't think so. I don't think that would help them in any way.
There is some benefit, like if there's a middle ground between completely niche and open source and whatever and proprietary thing, I think it would be nice, because like my biggest concern with the Librem 5 is the fact that they're relying on the users to control the OS. But if they can take over the control of the OS and continue to support it throughout the years, then I would feel better about that.
Yeah.
Even if the source was closed,
then you've got
I would feel better about that. I mean, open source is much better because I can look at it and say, oh yeah, it really is secure. But even if the source was closed and they took control of it, I wouldn't have to worry about whether or not it'll even be patched.
Because if they don't control, because otherwise it could be dead on arrival. Like they release it, it comes out,
and there's a vulnerability, and nobody patches it.
That's the end of that
gone.
phone line, right?
Well, if it was proprietary, then there will be, support.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
If there is support, yeah,
And
absolutely.
this proprietary would be more towards enterprise people, because I'm sure there's enterprise companies out there that are very, crazy about their security.
Yes, but like I was saying, what company that's focused on what enterprise company that's focused on security or good security would buy untested devices? They're going to wait until it's verified and until it has a decent enough reputation to stake money into it. Because they're not going to spend however many thousands of dollars on untested technology just because it says it's secure. That's very foolish. They would never do that. I don't think so anyway. But I don't run a company, so I have no idea.
Any other comments?
David E. Grayson says in chat that the company isn't trying to patent anything and they want it to be open. However, I do have a question about that. I was typing it, but I'll just say it out loud because Grayson's here in the audience. I'm confused about how they phrase it. They say that our intention is to have everything free down to the schematic level, but have not cleared all design, patents, legal, and contractual details. So does that? They're saying we have not cleared all design, patents, and legal and contractual details. So are they still trying to pursue a patent? Because I don't know. Sometimes. I don't know. It's very confusing to me.
Yeah. So the question on the page for that phone, the Librem 5, it says, "Will this be an open hardware design?" So the question is specifically about the hardware, and they're saying, "Yeah, we want to release all of our schematics, but they might need to use something that's patented or copyrighted in their schematics, and so they might have trouble releasing the schematics to the public."
Because of the stuff that they might use.
Yeah, that's what my reading of that is.
Okay.
But then they say at the end, in the next sentence, they say, well, our long-term beliefs, we want to do this because it aligns with our long-term beliefs. So I think they want this phone to be totally open and reproducible by others.
Okay,
which is
so
good.
Okay, so they're doing the thing that Volkswagen did with the 3-point seatbelt, where they just didn't patent it, so all the auto manufacturers can do it for safety.
I dig it.
Volvo, thank you.
Hey, fact check,
We're
yay!
fact checking again.
Fact check from the audience.
Thank you, because I am often wrong, so I definitely need some
you're
fact
pretty much
checking.
always right.
BGM, what was your topic?
Oh, so we're going back to my topic?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's so late now.
Dude, we started 10 minutes late.
Okay, just, it can be quick. I actually wanted to have an open discussion with you guys, so feel free to come up. I just have a question I want to pose. It's a focus on privacy. And like I said earlier, this is kind of going back to what we originally intended the podcast to be. So this question is on privacy regarding specifically Facebook. What's it doing wrong? And even more importantly, what's it doing right, if anything?
It's doing wrong. It's being Facebook.
Before we get to start it off, I do want to say that one thing that they do that I do like is that they give you a tab or in the security or privacy settings or whatever, where all of your devices that you're either currently signed into or that you have signed into is available that you can review and log out of or manipulate from the settings panel. I do like that because a lot of devices or products don't let you do that. So I do like that. That's just one thing.
Before we go out to the community mic, any comment?
Facebook is Facebook.
Facebook is Facebook.
I love Facebook.
Okay, so one thing that I think Facebook is doing right, I think it's good for, well, okay, I'm talking about general sense, not necessarily privacy. That's the thing is like I've taken a personal change to not share so much on Facebook personally, but to use it as a business platform, like business announcements, sharing the lockpick night was on Facebook, sharing things for the podcast, that's on Facebook. But not too often as much as I used to. I don't share too much personal updates anymore. So that's my own choice. Now so I think it's a good platform for maybe business because people are still using it, right? People are still going there.
Are they?
I don't know. I filtered out a lot of shit.
I was just kidding, dude. People still
okay. Well, I don't know. I filtered out a lot of shit.
Yeah, but they're only down to 6 billion users
now,
so it's dwindling.
They lost a couple of million, but
what the fuck ever. So what I'm saying though is it's a great business platform because people are going there. As far as what they're doing right about privacy, I don't know, because like even the privacy settings that you could make, you change them, and then if there's an update to Facebook, they change it back.
Do they?
Yeah,
that's correct. That has been for quite a while.
They change it back.
I did not know that.
So you deny tags, you deny this, you deny posts about this, and da-da-da-da. When they update their TOS or when they update their program, like
it's all re-enabled.
It's all re-enabled, dude. That's something very wrong that they're doing.
I don't know if this is the same category, but I know I definitely had two-factor authentication turned on for a long time, and that doesn't revert.
No, what we're talking about is like what you choose to share with who.
Yeah, so like your privacy settings, like when you say, I don't want pictures that are tagged about me to end up on my timeline.
Do you know how to get around that? Do you know how I get around that? I just don't post stuff.
No,
but you also have to limit other people posting stuff.
Other people from tagging
and those
you
settings are
in their
reset.
photos.
I just don't leave my house. Nobody can tag me anything. Circumvented it.
Yeah, we could.
Doxy lives here. You just
I got it. I solved.
Doxy lives here.
I solved the whole Facebook
wondering
problem.
What that cod was in the map.
I solved the whole Facebook problem. I'm good.
All right, now community mic.
All right, the whole thing with privacy, it depends on the individual's comfort level with that.
Right.
Has anybody ever seen that picture of a naked welder on Facebook welding with the hood on, just butt naked?
This sounds like something I need to see.
I know that guy.
I was gonna say, this sounds
it's a
like
dude.
it's either you
I
or
know
somebody
that
you
guy.
know.
Is that a group?
Okay,
That
I
I'm
thought
just
it
saying,
was-
I know
is
that
that
guy.
a group that I can follow?
That was an.
All right.
I didn't know it was a dude. I take it back.
Right, just
naked welder.
yeah.
Naked welder.
He's welding. He's got. I know that guy. Okay,
Is that
I
his-
literally know that guy.
Is that his page? Like, is he okay with it? Or
No,
Or did
it's
somebody just took
somebody
his picture?
took a picture of it and he was laughing, showed it to him, and he said, "Hey, post it on Facebook." So it's on Facebook.
Why did he take? Why
Well,
was
that's
he
his
welding
choice then.
naked?
You don't understand the kind of people I work with. All right, these are the kind of people that would. Okay, I don't know how to call. I don't know how to describe the Vanessa. All right.
Wait, but okay, so the person takes a picture of him welding in a naked fashion.
And he
Yeah,
says,
he was
cool.
on the job,
He shows it to the
on a
person-
public job, not in his garage, but on a public job.
What the fuck?
And
That's
Okay.
a different question,
and
dude.
he
This
says
is the same guy that is talking about needing a sat phone to be able to call an ambulance.
I need a snap phone. I need to take a picture of this naked welder.
This is
I just
on
wanna-
the job in town.
I just want to know.
In town, on a public job in town.
I want to know what's going on out there in the desert, naked welders and whatnot. I feel like I need a new
Okay,
job.
so that's a whole different story
Facebook's
here,
a
but you're not
good way
understanding.
to get to your naked welder.
You know, if that's why.
Privacy depends on the individual's comfort level. This guy obviously doesn't care if he's welding naked and people take pictures of it.
Obviously does not. I didn't even know anybody ever. That's
All
a
right,
whole other
well
thing.
then there's
Like
this.
that, I feel like that's more dangerous than cooking naked.
Oh, well, I don't know, man.
Not as dangerous as cooking bacon, Nick.
Bacon grease
Or
is no
frying
joke.
chicken. Or frying chicken.
Bacon grease chicken is no joke.
Nothing more dangerous than that.
If that hits you, game over. Okay.
So obviously he's not the only guy to do something with hot work
story
naked.
about cooking naked
Obviously
and
not.
trying to use my bacon press. It was.
But
So, you know, on another job, they called it the Vanessa, where a guy came in with nothing but his boots on and his hard hat and had his junk tucked between his legs. So they were like, okay.
I feel like welding is a very fun industry now.
It is a very fun
feel
industry. All right, you guys.
we need a movie
I made
that's like waiting,
$180,000
but
last
for
year
welders.
as a welder.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
need to
saying.
get into welding.
You know, it's just, it depends on your comfort level. Obviously, the guy on a public job didn't care if everybody saw his junk tucked between his legs, butt ass naked in front of the world. So.
And privacy definitely does depend on the person that's using it, because there are some people who want absolutely nothing showing. Even if you're the friend, they want like nothing, like just like maybe a single profile picture. And you can't
even see their mutual friends.
You can't see friends. You can't comment.
Of course, I'm asking for a friend. I don't stalk. But
you can't send messages. Like they're very locked down. And some people are like, my entire life is here.
Well, the question I posed though wasn't about comfort level of the user. It was, what's Facebook doing right by the user in terms of privacy?
I'll answer that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I forgot.
You've got the floor.
Doxy, you're killing me, dude.
You've got the floor, Doxy.
Fozzie did come here before I said that, so I want Fozzie to answer first. Sorry. Go ahead, Fozzie.
So one thing that they're doing right is they have a Tor portal, so that
really?
Yeah.
Oh, they have a .onion.
Yeah,
That's
they have
right,
a .onion address, so you can go in Facebook anonymously, sort of, because they.
I was gonna say, how do you anonymously
so the trick is you still have the real ID problem, but you connecting who you are to your physical location becomes a lot harder at that point, and that becomes really important for activists, because there are times when in some countries, you know, certain activists are hunted. So being able to catch those sorts of things and let them
that
connect.
makes sense.
That's
Facebook,
a huge thing.
Facebook likes to post like, oh, posted from, you know, da da da.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you're, you know, being an activist in this state that doesn't allow activism, and then it's like, oh, posted from Belarus, you could feel kind of safe.
My favorite thing to do on Facebook right now, and it's not because of tragedies, but just because of the way Facebook handles those tragedies, you get to mark yourself safe for an earthquake in India, or like, or an emergency on the East Coast, and I'm like, yep, I'm safe. I love doing that, and then everybody's like, wow, are you in the area? I'm like, nah, but Facebook asked if I was all right. Like, yeah, Facebook, I'm fine.
So
I'm good. What's up?
So I have a thing. I don't know if you guys have run into this, but when I was like several years ago in college, I was just researching a student who had a completely private Facebook page, 100% private. But I get all of their updates, all their status updates, all their photo updates,
Is
everything.
it because you've subscribed to them?
No, they don't have a follow button, and it's perplexed me for years. And I see everything, and even when I click on their profile, it's completely locked down, but yet their feed still comes to me. I don't know why. I only search their profile once. No, not notifications. It just shows up on my feed.
Maybe did you start
that kind of shit.
Did you start following them before they locked it down? Oh.
No, it was a 100% private profile. So I went to it and I'm like, oh, it's private. I don't see anything. And I left. Several months later, probably, I started seeing their updates in my feed.
Are you friends with them?
No.
You're not even friends with them?
No, I'm not friends with them.
Like, I mean, on
That's
Facebook.
No, I'm not
great.
friends with them on Facebook.
That's creepy.
That's what it's a bug.
That's a huge
At
bug.
this point, I'm calling Fight Club. This is actually you.
Yeah, identify. There's his alter ego.
But how would my
I am
personal,
Vanessa's vague book post.
how would my personal Facebook still be seeing my alter ego's Facebook?
You've seen Fight Club, right?
Well, yes, I've
Oh,
seen
okay.
it. But
I am Jack's angry vague book post.
Yeah, I don't know if we know a lot of people here can argue what they're doing wrong, right? Especially with bugs, especially with
And
not even knowing about their privacy settings.
I know about the privacy. What are you talking about?
Earlier, you were like, wait, they can tag this and that?
No, I didn't know that it reset after every update.
Oh, see, well, that's your fault.
Because we'll talk about that later.
No, but but I know that's not the question that BGM proposed, because that's, Well, it kind of is and it kind of isn't because the privacy settings
they're all
are
on the same line.
right. The privacy settings are on the user to change and manipulate, but then it's on Facebook's. It's on Facebook to keep those conditions or keep those settings even after an update or even after, you know.
So I want to say real quick, it definitely is on Facebook. Like if I say I don't want any tag posts to show up on my timeline or whatever, that is on Facebook to keep. But what BJ Mass, what they're doing right is very periodically, like whenever I log on, maybe.
Well, I asked what they're also doing wrong.
Oh, okay.
Well, what are they doing wrong?
I'm gonna defend Facebook. Okay, I'm gonna defend Facebook.
Okay.
So what they do right is, I would say 1 out of every 5 times I log on, they pop up with a big banner that says privacy review, and it says and it says, hey, these things are either unsecure or like these things are happening in your profile.
That's true. I get
like
those.
like take a look at it and maybe you want to change some stuff. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, I get those.
I agree.
What's kind of concerning though about the fact that it changes the settings that you have is those are database options. So whenever they do an update, they're actually doing a query to the database saying change these options back to this value no matter what they are.
Maybe they need
Which is kind of strange. Why would they need to do that?
I was going to say, they don't need to have the default or the database set back to default for an update.
They don't need to update any kind of settings when they.
Because maybe they're a sketchy company and they're like, maybe people won't notice.
Oh,
if
what happened while I'm defending Facebook?
Whatever you say, I'm going to go the opposite. So now I'm against them. So what happens is when they do an update, they say people won't catch it if we revert the settings.
You're like a shadow government.
You got it goddamn right. So people are like, hey, we changed the settings already, so I don't need to look at it again. And Facebook is like, we'll just sneakily flip the switches back over.
That's a funny word.
Sneakily?
Are you one of the people who posts on Reddit that we did at Reddit on every post?
I don't post anything on Reddit. I don't post anything on Reddit.
I'm too shy to post stuff on Reddit.
I'm the lurker.
I think your Reddit username is we did at Reddit.
Oh, holy shit, that's a good one.
You'll never know. Sorry,
Community Mike?
So, a couple of my friends and I, we have a theory that Facebook is actually listening in on our conversation.
Oh, they are.
Oh yeah, they
100%.
definitely
100%. They, yeah,
and so
absolutely.
you'll be talking about something like, oh, I want to go on vacation. Oh, well, I'm thinking about buying a car or whatever.
Yeah, that's
and
not a theory,
There
dude.
later you have suggested ads.
That is not
talking
a theory.
about, or like,
that
oh,
is
you want to buy a car?
No, that's
You wanna
targeted
get
marketing.
cheap flights,
That's
I
what
could bet
Facebook
you.
does.
You're right. That's a fucking fact. You want to know why?
That's a
No,
fact.
so
I have-
Google, because
I have-
I've been talking about something, put two letters in of what I was searching for, and what I just
Here, I
talked
have an
about,
example.
and hit it.
You know, you talk about stuff in Messenger too, and
Yeah.
that stuff comes up.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Reddit
no.
ads. So they're reading your Messenger.
I don't know if I
messages.
did it with you. It may have been with you when at our old workplace. But I was talking with somebody, and I'm like, I think this happens. What could we say that's the most random thing? And we haven't even discussed it here right now. So we talked about baby strollers. About 2 hours, you guys check your phones, check your injected ads.
Baby
you're gonna have fucking
strollers.
baby strollers.
Baby strollers.
Showing up. It happened to me, and I'm like, oh, I know they're listening in now. Because I don't have kids. There's no reason for me to buy a baby stroller. Just said the word baby stroller, and all of a sudden, my phone had it.
Going along that line,
Yeah.
we never talk on Messenger, so we should talk on Messenger about like baby bottle nipples, and we should see how many of those we get targeted ads for.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Just to prove.
If Chin doesn't want to
that
do it,
they
let's
are
do it. I'll do
listening
it.
I'll do it. We never talk on Facebook Messenger either.
I don't think I've ever messaged you on Facebook.
I'll do it.
Who has that installed? I don't even have that installed.
I don't have Facebook installed, but I have Messenger installed. Messenger installed. Why?
I have Chrome. I mean, I could just go to the website.
You can't though, because you can't. Well, you can go to the Facebook website, but you can't message from Chrome anymore.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Yes, you
Oh
can.
wait, on the phone. I'm sorry, on a phone.
Oh.
On a
Yeah, you
mobile.
can.
On a mobile. Absolutely,
On
you
a mobile
cannot.
phone, you can.
This
Because
is
that's
a-
how I do it all the
this
time. I
is
just
a
request.
Pull it up right now. Show me.
I
Is this a
request
laptop?
desktop. I go to the web and I just request desktop and I.
Let me see. Show me. Show me. I don't believe it. I don't believe it until I see it. Until I see it with my own eyes, I don't believe it.
Doxy,
We'll do that.
Can you load up the lightning round, please?
I'm hitting my Chrome. Doxy. I'm hitting my Chrome button. I requested desktop. I'll just scroll on up here. Click on messages. Click on the most recent message. Oh, there's the full message feed right there.
Wow, he just told you.
Am I even a phone person? Do I even? Jesus.
This is how I get around that. I didn't want to install Messenger.
I don't want to
on
install
my-
Messenger either. I didn't.
Yeah, do it
am I
this way,
even?
man.
Am I even a whatever? Oh my Jesus!
What the fuck is that? Oh my god. No,
What's
no,
what?
go to infosecurity-magazine.com.
All right,
What
come
the
on,
fuck magazine is
let's-
that?
Let's move on. Let's move on here. No one's seeing his laptop.
Just click that link I posted.
Or do that. Sorry, you sent me all these messages and my smartwatch just kept exploding.
Talking to you about baby bottle nipples and where I
Baby
can get some
bottle
hot
nipples.
deals
What
on
was the
baby
slash?
bottles.
Oh, slash news, sorry. Okay, so I think it is now about time for the
Well,
lightning
I feel
round.
like we didn't even really get good into this conversation, so we should definitely bring this up next time because
Okay.
I
I mean, we just ran out of time, so. But we still have shit to say.
all right,
All right, so Doxy's taking care of the lightning round today.
all right. Do you want to explain it? Do you want to?
Yes. So again, like we talked about, like BGM and I were talking about earlier, the show that we want to do, we want to refocus on topical discussion and saving the headlines for later in the show. I mean, obviously that's what the lightning round was about. So we are not a news show. Okay? That's not what we are. We're a discussion show, sure. We want to explain maybe complex technological concepts in a basic way, basic, plain text way. But at the end, we have the lightning round. The lightning round is basically us finding the information security news, reading the headlines, giving our tweet's length opinion.
This is as much of the news as I wanted to talk about originally
exactly.
when we started the show.
Exactly.
Which it
When we
should
started
always
the
be.
podcast,
Yes.
Which is
So-
lightning round. Here's the news. Go find
We want to
out.
give you our tweet's length opinion. We don't want to tell you how to think or what to.
I
you
do.
know- No, we don't. We don't. That's not what we are, Doc.
Oh yeah. I
But we
forgot,
want
yeah.
you to do your own research. We want you to figure, be your own person, have your own opinions. So go ahead, Doxy. Which way
Ready?
are we going?
Decision.
Xenophi first, since he hasn't been here.
Sure. I'm probably not going to say much, but all right.
You son of a bitch. Okay. GitLab vulnerabilities could lead to session hijacking.
GitLab? Well, I've never used GitLab.
GitLab is like another GitHub, but just lab.
Is GitLab
Open source.
Is GitLab the one where you can set up like a small website for your app without like really? Okay.
So that's cool. Session hijacking.
So you can become an admin of any GitLab website, really, if you can hijack the session.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I like that.
I'm just reading. I'm going off you guys. Ready?
Go ahead.
McEwen University defrauded out of 11.8 million in phishing attack. Jesus.
$11 million.
Wow.
Hashtag
So it was just an elaborate phishing campaign.
Hashtag educate your people.
Yes. Okay. Speaking of that, I'll read the
tagline.
The tagline real quick. Staff fell for a business email compromise gambit after receiving a request to change banking info for a vendor.
Oh, I've seen that plenty of times.
Educate your users.
Yep.
Educate your people.
No, that's serious. I've seen that plenty of times.
Click on this link.
I've seen it done successfully plenty of times. Educate.
So did
educate.
McEwen University.
The number one defense against any social engineering thing is education. So know what to
Educate
look
people.
for.
Yep.
If in doubt, ask.
Don't click links in emails.
Ask. I won't laugh at you. I won't laugh at you.
You said if in doubt, and I was thinking like, man, if in doubt, whip it out.
What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I have a question about this phishing email. Yeah, what's up? Boom. Yeah, educate your users first and foremost.
Okay.
Wait, did you want to say something?
Your users are going to email it to everybody, like, hey, don't click this link.
Yes,
And everybody clicks it.
absolutely.
That's true.
I just want to see what this is. real
Reverse
quick.
psychology, yeah.
Okay, next. Juniper to acquire Cyfort.
I know who Juniper is. I don't know what the fuck Cypher
I've never heard of Cyfort before.
Cyfort, more like Cyf. What?
What? Add that to your...
Hashtag we are the Borg.
Hashtag what the fuck? Okay, last one. HackerOne expects 100 million paid out in bounties by 2020.
How much?
100 million.
I'm in the wrong fucking industry.
Man, we need to do something.
Wait, I'm kind of in the industry, but not really.
So I guess what they want is red team security. Like they're gonna force security by constantly hacking things.
It's bug bounties.
Bug bounties.
Oh, bug bounties. Oh, okay.
I don't.
So yeah, they're gonna
are
force
there?
security by
I
constantly
feel like there aren't
hacking
many that many companies that pay out bug bounties.
The
But I
bigger ones
don't
do.
know.
The bigger ones do, except for
Google,
Adobe. But we've
Google
talked about that.
does Facebook have a bug bounty program?
I don't
I think they do.
Do they? I don't think so.
I think they do.
I have no
do.
idea.
I know.
I'm not smart enough to submit any bugs.
I know
so.
that Adobe doesn't, but that's because we've covered it before. They do not have a
Adobe's
bug
And
bounty.
guess what? Guess what constantly gets hacked?
Adobe.
Adobe's trash. That was the last article.
I wonder if WordPress has a
Adobe's
has a bug bounty
trash is a
program.
good last article. Next article, Adobe's trash.
Adobe is trash.
All right, is that it?
That's it.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the lightning round, which brings us to the end of the show. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but never, ever, ever out of shit to say. So join us again next week. Same great time, same great channel. I'm going to keep that. Here, every Friday night at 7:30, we are here at the Sin Shop, 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Remember, that's sinshop.org for information on the Las Vegas Valley Hackerspace. And for more information on us, go to GREYNOISE, GREYNOI.se. Blue Moon apparently makes my mouth all weird.
Oh, it makes it tingly.
Yeah, I guess. My name is Master Chen.
My name is BGM.
This is Doxy.
I'm Zenify.
Good night, everybody.
I look really